Yes, ma'am. Just some housekeeping rules, everyone. Please keep your mic muted for the presentation and for the briefing. And post that, we can have a discussion and you can start asking your questions. So we welcome all of you for this Q&A session for the Sustainable Mobility Accords. This is an extension of the cycle day that we had started in 2013. And we would like to take this to the next level and involve the communities in actually making some change happen on ground. So I'd like to ask Ms. V. Manjula, our Commissioner and Additional Chief Secretary to the Government of Karnataka, to welcome everyone and give a small brief about this project.
Good morning, everybody. Namaskara. First of all, thank you all for joining this, meeting online because of the circumstances that we are in. But we hope, we would definitely have an opportunity few months down the line to host you all in our office. Many of you have, as Sonal mentioned, engaged with us in the Cycle Day initiative. Some might not be aware of it. Some might also require some introduction to the ULT. So just to give you a brief, about the ULT. First of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Manjula. I'm the Commissioner, the ULT, and the Additional Chief Secretary to the government. And the ULT is an organization that has been set up about a decade back now by government of Karnataka, subsequent to the National Urban Transport Policy. It may be of news to you to know that this is one of its kind of an organization. No other government, no other state has a directorate of urban land transport. So that itself, I think, was a big step here in Karnataka. So the mandate of DULT has been to promote sustainable transport. Apart from our work in Bangalore, DULT has also has worked and is working in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities of Karnataka. So we have focused a lot on public transport. DULT has conceptualized and implemented the Hubli-Dharwad bus rapid transit system between the twin cities of Hubli and Dharwad. The public bicycle sharing system, at that time the first of its kind in the country in Mysore, it is known as Train. We have also funded close to 20 public urban public transport, organized public transport in 20 cities across Karnataka. And there are other initiatives too. So we do fund, we do plan, design for urban sustainable mobility initiatives. Cycle Day again was unique in the sense that it was an initiative of the civil society. We had Praja Rag and some individual cyclists who approached us in 2013 with the concept of a cycle day. So DULT engaged with them, and I think in all these years, almost 6-7 years, we have also learned a lot by engaging with the community. Now, at some point in course of Cycle Day, we have started interacting and engaging through or implementing the Cycle Day through the community partners. And I would say without the support of community partners and community, Cycle Day would not have been the kind of success. It is one of the long running open street events in the country. So it would not have been so. So while in the aftermath of COVID-19 epidemic, when we were thinking on how to move forward, because we find that many cities across the world are also rethinking on their mobility, challenges and their mobility options, we felt it is a time to actually take the next step and engage with the community. And, actually walk the talk. It is not just one event that we are talking about, but we are actually talking about how do we improve, sustainable mobility options for neighborhood commute. Can it be, more people walk, cycle, within the neighborhood for whatever are their necessities? How could we get more people onto public transport? So we want to engage with the community and find solutions. Now, there are very many problems. We acknowledge that sometimes infrastructure is not good. We hardly have any infrastructure for cycling. But I am of the opinion that things would definitely improve. And we see these improvements. Cycle lanes are coming up in more than one corridor in the city now. And footpath improvements are also happening. So it's a matter of time. But we cannot really wait for things to happen. We need to come together to make things happen in whatever way we could. So this is the thought process behind coming out with the Sustainable Urban Mobility Accord. For us, it would be a learning experience. It's going to be a sort of an experiment in public engagement, implementing things through the community. So in the first year, we are looking at engaging with about 10 communities, 10 associations. Maybe once we gain experience and we also put together a proper kind of a project team or something like that, then probably next year we will again increase it much more, and maybe we would have more communities implementing SUMA. So this is all I had to say. So we look forward to working with you all. It's quite possible that all the communities that give applications may not get shortlisted for SUMA. Maybe only 10 would be selected this year. But that's just a temporary thing. We just want to gain experience and fine tune what we thought is the way forward. But again, I must say that we are open and receptive to all ideas that come from you. After all, nothing is kind of written in stone. So we would also like you to suggest if you find any, changes that you would suggest to the guidelines, etc. We are very much open to take these suggestions also. And I thank you once again, and I request Sonal to make a presentation on SUMA. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Just give me a minute to load the presentation. So welcome all again. So as we have already stated, and many of you know, that there was a Cycle Day 1.0, which started in October 2013. It's an initiative which we wanted to engage cyclists in Bangalore or common people in Bangalore to take up cycling as a mode of transport and nudge them to use this as a sustainable mode of transport, at least for short commutes around their neighborhood. So today's Cycle Day initiative is the longest running open streets event in the country. In this October, it will complete 7 years. It was an initiative in the perception of some political and administrative bodies also to invest more on cycling friendly streets in Bangalore. Cycle Day 2.0. So why did we come up with this after 7 years? Is because we thought that events was something that helped the communities come together. But after coming together, then what? Right. So we don't want to leave this initiative as something that is a one-off, one Sunday event where people come together, have fun, spread the message of cycling, and then go back and then do nothing about making change happen in their neighborhood. Right. So this whole Cycle Day 2.0, which we call the Sustainable Mobility Accords, an extension of the Cycle Day to 1.0, and it supports active communities to actively engage with their neighbors in achieving certain outcomes for their neighborhood in a specified time frame. Right? This poster says community is much more than belonging to something. It's about doing something together that makes belonging matter. So we want all of you who have engaged with us continuously to actually make a difference in your communities and work towards a sustainable neighborhood. So coming to the question of what we call a sustainable neighborhood. So sustainable neighborhood, we are defining it as a neighborhood which has 80% of all the neighborhood trips that happen either by walk or cycle, and at least 60% of the neighborhood the trips that happen outside the neighborhood should be through walking, cycling, and public transport, or any other kinds of shared modes of transport. So there's a concept of the 15-minute city that has been talked about across the world. Cities have started building in Paris, for example, where you see that in this image, the city of Paris and the mayor of Paris has started building a city which is a 15-minute city where people can actually walk and cycle to any destination that they use in their daily life. Right, so we should start looking at our cities and our neighborhoods as 15 minutes cities as well. The objectives of the sustainable sustainable mobility accords is to engage communities through residential associations, prominent community leaders, to increase adoption of sustainable modes of transport like walking, cycling, and public transport. So no longer we are just restricting this this whole thing to cycling, but we are increasing the scope and saying that it should include walking and public transport as well. And to support community to formulate specific goals and plans for transforming itself into a sustainable neighborhood, and for improving safe access to schools in their neighborhoods, safe walking routes in the neighborhood, improvements of public spaces as well in their neighborhood. And by doing this, I think we'll make more vibrant communities, we'll make more vibrant neighborhoods, and that change is sort of infective, right? So one community starts changing and other communities start adopting the same principles of designing neighborhoods. And this is a perfect example of doing local area plan, where we involve the neighborhood communities and build communities for sustainable mobility. So implementation of certain tactical interventions and improvement of public spaces is another objective that we want to achieve. So the key items in the application are the following. We have to identify the neighborhoods, have to identify the zone that you want to work on. And the delineated area should include a minimum of 1,000 households. So a busy commercial street, retail street, at least one school, and some neighborhood destinations like places of religion and places of recreation in your neighborhood. After identification of this area that you want to work with, you have to define a vision for the neighborhood and identify mobility related issues you can't solve if you don't understand, right? So we need you to identify the mobility related issues in this neighborhood and drop a vision for your neighborhood. So we will begin with collection of data, because data is everything today. Without collecting data, we are only making assumptions. So we would like to go in a more scientific way, because we don't want people to perceive that one solution is not possible, or walking is not possible, or cycling is not possible, but we want to prove it through data. So data is one of the main key elements of this application that we would like to collect. And then finally, we'll want you to collect some testimonials of some of the works that you have done in your neighborhood, so that we want more people to participate and support you as RWA or any other organization, NGO that is working. That is going to apply for this challenge. We want more people to actually participate and feel the ownership by participating in this. So testimonials is an important part of this whole application. So how the selection can happen is, as Ma'am has already said, up to 10 applicants will be selected for the implementation stage during the first year of SMA, and subsequently, as we learn from this experience of the first year, we will keep improving it from all your suggestions as well. There will be a SUMA task force that will be formed, and they will actually assess your application and give you some green shoots. So the green shoots are based on the activities that you have done in the neighborhood, what is, like, if you've done any campaigns, for example, related to mobility, sustainable mobility in your neighborhood or for the city. If you've done a cycle day, for example, because we want to give prominence to people who have engaged with us in the past and done cycle day. Or you have done any other, or tackled any other issues and done campaigns on, say, for example, waste management or health related issues in your neighborhood or any other kind of issues. So each of these participants, I mean, each of these 10 applicants who are chosen will get a amount of rupees 50 lakh to pilot tactical interventions in the area. And applicants will also have technical assistance from DALT and other partners like WRI India. So this money will be provided on the submission of a detailed plan and a vision. And we also want to know what you'll be spending this on. And you could appoint your own private contractors to do any kind of tactical interventions in your area. And obviously, you can go through your ward committees and take permissions to do all these things. So not more than 5% will be given for overheads. The rest of the money needs to be spent on material and work for that pilot intervention. So we need a lot, we need not-for-profit and registered RWAs to apply for this. The reason being that we would like some sort of a legitimate organization to take this, to disperse this money that we are going to give, and also to implement the solutions that will come up through this, through the challenge. So it's now open for question and answers. And if you have any clarifications or doubts in any of the things that you have seen and read in the questions or the application form, you could please raise that. I'd like you guys to raise your hands and we'll moderate this nicely so that everyone gets a chance to interact. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, hi, Sonal.
Hello. Hi, Akhila.
This is Suchitra.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So
with your
Sonal,
question.
Mrs. Subhashini Jagannath, she wants to make a point, and I think
Yeah.
after her, Mrs. Suchitra will make the point. So Mrs. Subhashini, please.
Yeah, hi. Hello. So I'm from Malleshwaram Swabhiman Initiative. And the question I have is, I was trying to fill up the form. And in some areas, you have just given a space which may not be enough. Maybe in all those areas, if you can ask us to upload the document, like I'm still on the third page, of course. I don't know what is there in the rest of the pages of 7. But the things like, what you have done, which areas you want to cover and why, and things like that, and office bearer, their details, everything has to be filled up in that gap, in that whatever area is given. Instead, if you can give where more info is required, if you ask us to make a Word doc file and then upload, maybe we'll get more info from everybody. Okay, thank you.
Mrs. Subhashini, you can do so. Clarification to everybody. You can download the form and then, but don't change the questions or anything. But you can download the form and write as much as you want, and then upload the Word document back to us, Word or PDF or whatever you wish to. Right? It's possible. Right.
That's good. And one more question I have.
You can send it by mail. I think Sonal will also, we will clarify to you.
Right.
We will give you a mail address so that you can send it to the mail.
Right,
so that,
right. That's great.
That's right. Can I ask Mrs. Suchitra now? Yeah. After Mrs. Suchitra, Mr. Baba, Sonal, you have to tell me, because I'm only, whatever names I'm seeing, I'm just speaking out, speaking out their names. So after Mrs. Suchitra, it would be Mr. Baba.
Okay. I'm not seeing any raised hands, so yeah.
So Mrs. Suchitra. Mrs. Suchitra, please.
Yeah, hi, sorry. My audio was a bit off. So I wanted to find out if, we are collaborating with a non-profit who is not based in this area, but is working in this area as a living lab collaboration. So in that case, uh, does that still qualify us? Because we are not a registered body, but we are affiliating ourselves with a registered not-for-profit organization, and we've come together as a collaborative.
Actually, ma'am, we are looking for residential associations or non-profits which are working in a particular area. See, it is important to take the community along. So if we think any association which has been doing some work in that community, and I think we said minimum 3 years or something like that. So these are the organizations which have already got credibility in the neighborhood. So we could engage with them. So otherwise, if it would be very difficult to engage with individuals or organizations which are not registered. So we are really looking forward towards the registered organizations which have been working in that area. Now, I really do not know whether your non-profit is working in that area. Does it have some representation from residents? Because it is not that some other organization from somewhere else comes and starts doing something there. Because first of all, the
Hello, ma'am.
buy-in of residents is very important. So that is very important actually.
Okay, so let me clarify. Uh, I am from Malleshwaram Social, and we have been working in this area for the past 4 years. And we have tied up with a non-profit which is working on with Sensing Local, which is working through the city on many these issues and affiliated issues, all to do with community, level problems. And we have formed a collaboration. Now, our collaboration then, even though we are not registered, they are registered. In that case, does that disqualify us? Because we have done sufficient work. I think we can demonstrate support from the community also, and so has Sensing Local in their own way.
Uh, Let us think about it and get back to you, Mrs. Suchitra. See, our problem is that, so you might be working there for a very long time. There could be organizations which may suddenly come up and say, we are working and, we will also, so, they may also apply and they may not be having this kind of work experience in the area and we may have to disqualify them. So we have to look at it. We have to be fair to others also and people who have been working for a very long time. So we will examine that one issue. We need to, internally discuss and come back to you. We will do so shortly in a day or two, Mrs.
Sure.
Suchitra.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Mr. Baba, please.
Hello, Mr.
Baba.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I represent Lions Club of Bangalore Chandana, and I am also a resident of Redstone Fortune apartment. So these two are in two different areas. One is in the Nagarbavi area, other one is near Kenyan Satellite Town. So it will have a combination of wards if I go by the application. So hope this kind of work is allowed if it is spread across multiple wards. That is one. The other thing that I just wanted to check with or get information is regarding the plan. Let's say we want to have some pop-up cycle tracks across some of the old ring roads here, and sorry, So we'll take the Google map and do the marking on those Google maps. So is that considered as a plan, or you want more, and what is required in terms of plan is what I want to know.
So, Mr. Baba, as long as we are looking as contiguous area, I mean, it cannot be that, one is in one place and other is 5-10 kilometers somewhere else. So we are looking at a kind of a close-knit community where work happens. So as long as it is a contiguous area, we have no issue. Secondly, see, we want to know, like, what is your vision for the neighborhood? What is that you thought, you thought about, what kind of solutions you think are feasible in your neighborhood, and we want you to, indicate that in your plan. But rest assured, subsequent, let's say, if your organization is selected, we will be working with you to fine tune the plan. So in the first instance, all that we want to know is what is your vision for your neighborhood? Do you have some plan of some sorts? What is that you are looking forward to? Some kind of an idea. It may not come with, proper specifications, dimensions. We are not looking at that. We are just wanting to know your vision, your strategy, your approach, and what do you think are the, doable things that you could, work at in your community. Suppose, say, we are impressed with your outlook and approach and all that, and you are one of the shortlisted applicants, then we will work with you. Our SUMA task force will work with you to further fine tune the plan, fine tune the designs and things like that, or fine tune the intervention, whatever it is. And let me tell you, we have not said this is what is to be done, because we think as a community you would know the best that is required for your neighborhood. So we are not going to tell you you have to do only pop-up lane, or you have to do only this, or you have to do that. It's left to you. If we see, if all of us see sense in what is being proposed and that it is something which is going to help us in achieving our objective, we are fine with that. So hope that clarifies.
Next is Mr. Chandru Hugar and then Rekha Chari. So be ready.
Hello, I'm audible?
Yes, Mr.
Yes.
Chandru. Yes.
Yeah. So first question is, Madam, how it is collaborated with the other government bodies like BBMP and other things? Because a lot of challenges will come with those bodies. So that's the first question. Second question, whether it is restricted to the city or it is extended to the village also. If it is all the requirements, what you said, like 1,000 homes and all the things, if it is satisfied, then whether it can be extended to the village level also.
Okay. The first question, in our SUMA task force, definitely we would have other agencies, whether it is BBMP or BMTC, because we would also see whether there could be some interventions or some requirements from public transport operators. So they will be in the SUMA task force. So we will involve them and we will engage with them. And as you start planning also, we will also engage with all the agencies. So it would be dealt in the community together, engaging with the local BBMP and BMTC. The second point is, right now it is only for Bangalore city. And hopefully after we achieve some experience, we may extend it to other cities. But right now it is only for Bangalore city and not to the villages, because we are urban land transport. So we are really looking at only mostly urban areas. And I don't think we are looking at this point of time to extending to villages or rural areas. But in case what you call as a village is part of BBMP limits, well, yes, it qualifies. But if it is something outside BBMP limits, no. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam. Ms. Rekha Chari.
Hi, Sonal. Hello, Manjula, madam.
Hello.
Yeah, this is Rekha here. We've been very active in the Cycle Day Circuit 1.0. Had quite a few cycle days in Malleshwaram at that point of time. And I'm happy this Cycle Day 2.0 is coming, because we always had the question, what after this? People used to keep asking us this. So I'm really happy you all are pursuing this. I have a few basic questions. One is about the document registration, and I'm from Maleshwaram Swabhimani Initiative. I'm a member of MSI. So we are a registered body for 20 years now, a registered RWA, or it's called a community-based organization, CBO. I just want to know, when you all say you have to upload the registration document, can it be in the form of a registered letterhead also? Hello?
Yes, Mrs. Rekha, we are basically when you register, you get a document saying such and such society has been registered or registration has renewed, right?
Yes, yes.
We want that document. We want that document.
You want that document, is it? Yeah, okay. So the other thing is...
We have that document with us.
Okay, okay. The other thing is, can it be registered across wards, ma'am? Because MSI works with ward 45, 65. Can this be taken across wards?
We have no issue. You can make multiple applications if you wish.
Yeah.
Because these two wards, if they are together, then it could be brought together as a single application. But if they are distant, one ward is in 2-3 kilometers difference or whatever, then you could make two applications. And I would also see, we also said that in our document that you could also have partnerships with other organizations. Like Mrs. Suchitra has been speaking about working with some Sensing Local, but her own organization is not registered. So there is nothing that prevents from 231 registered organization coming out with a partnership with other organizations. But the lead partner has to be registered and must be in operation for at least minimum of 3 years, the lead partner. But others, you can bring in a consortium. We have no issue with that.
Okay. And the other thing, ma'am, is Sonal in presentation mentioned that private contractors, we have to be in charge of handling the private contractors and things like that. So will DULT give a hand in that, or and it also mentioned board committees can be involved in this. So in which case are you still referring to government contractors also can come in and things like that? How implementation part of it, ma'am?
Okay, so this implementation, we are open about that. The very idea is that we could have said this money will go to BBMP, but then we don't want to get into various long process. So it depends on what one is comfortable with. So it is not that we are working together. We will find a way which because we are dealing with public funds, which has to be transparent process, which needs to be which also is something which is easy to operate. Must be ease of operation. So we can take a view. So it is not that we have to go only through one way or other.
Okay, and some of the roads in Malleshwaram are getting tender sure roads, madam, like Margosa Road. And can this cycle lane, because it's not a very broad road, and having a separate pop-up cycle lane or whatever is going to be difficult. So there was a suggestion from our Vice President Sumati Rao saying that in some of the foreign countries, the footpath itself, and in Chandigarh also she mentions, is used as a cycle track if there are entry and exit sloping points. So can this be suggested to the Tender Sure project people so that they can do it along with the work what is going on right now? Is what...
Yeah, it can be done, but separately you have to give us the details on which road you're talking about. Similar work is being done by Smart City, Bangalore Smart City. They are retrofitting or trying to retrofit cycle lanes into already on work that is undergoing. In case of Tender Sure road, you can tell us which are those roads. We will generally engage with BBMP. We have to check what are the, we need to talk to them to get that included. So you can suggest what are those roads.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
You can do so without waiting for your application, etc. That is independent.
Okay.
Right now, that you can do so.
Okay, madam. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Next is Akhila and then Reshma.
Hello, ma'am. I represent a consortium of apartments. We are not yet registered. There are about 35 apartments in our consortium, and we have been working a lot for community welfare and also for non-motorized transport. So can an individual apartment, among the 35 apartments who are part of our consortium, apply as a representative?
See, actually, again, we come back to the neighborhood level. An individual apartment association may apply for the neighborhood. See, this is not for gated communities. I mean, it is not that we are going to go and build or help making footpaths or roads or cycle tracks within a gated community. That is not the idea at all. So if you are an apartment association and you are willing to engage with the neighborhood that is outside your gated community or outside your apartment complex.
Yes, exactly.
And then we have no issue with that. But it cannot be on behalf of some 35, because this 35 would be spatially distributed. So we are looking at a neighborhood. So as long as it is a neighborhood which extends beyond your gated community and which is contiguous to your area and you are working there, then we have no issue with that.
Okay. While the primary objective will be urban mobility and access to probably public transport, other public transport means like last mile connectivity, like metro, etc., nearby metro station, and then last mile connectivity for up to 2 kilometers on the cycle, for example. While that will be the primary objective, can we propose secondary and other important objectives also, like having a very sports and pedestrian friendly, cycle friendly, for cyclists, for kids and all, between 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. and all. I mean, somewhere in Mysore, some roads have been done like this, where cyclists are encouraged to use the roads in the morning along with walkers and all. So can there be a secondary objective also for the project? Can we propose it, or it has to be mobility only?
See, as long as it is, dealing with urban commute, urban mobility, and it involves, within the gated community, no. But if it is, let's say, if you're talking about a road that is just outside your residential complex, and you want it to be blocked for some time, as I understand, that's what you want, the use of cyclists, etc.
Yes,
that perfectly fits into the plan of things, into the scheme of things.
Okay.
So, but we would definitely not be doing anything within any private, portion, private space. So all our, this entire SUMA is for public space. We are talking about community and how do we use our public space. It could be place making, it could be cycle lanes, it could be, encouraging people to walk more in the neighborhood and cycle more, or it could be encouraging people to take up to public transport for their work trips. It could be engaging with BMTC for improving frequencies of public transport services in your area. There could be a whole lot. We are not saying this is this, but as long as it kind of fits into the scheme of things, we are okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Reshma, and then Mr. Shashidhara.
Am I audible?
Please, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, good morning, ma'am. Good morning, Sonal. So I'm Reshma, working as an assistant professor at a Global Academy of Technology located at RR Nagar. I represent from my college, so we just want to know, like, can an educational institute be part of this program? Will be eligible to apply? We do have experience of participating in various industry projects and even in the society commitment projects also. We have been actively participating in Cycle Day at RR Nagar 1 series, and in not only in the area of traffic, even in the areas of water and environment. So, and as part of the many studies, we have collected in the neighborhood area many data related to water, traffic and all. So we are very eager to participate, but when we looked into the application side, we couldn't fill many of the questions because most of them are framed into those kind of the NGO, that kind of statutory bodies. So just wanted to know, like, are we eligible to apply, ma'am?
Is there an registered RWA in your area?
It is there. Yes, RRI Care is there.
So
I
you
don't
could
know, but
apply in consortium with them, because if finally one is looking at all educational institutions or even some private institutions, they can all become consortium partners. So you could apply along with your RWA. So if if that answers your question. Because
okay. I just wanted to know that is the only possibility, or individually from our own capacity are we in a position to apply?
So, Mrs. Reshma, because this is not just a project kind of a thing, we want to engage with the community. So when
Yes,
you
ma'am.
have to engage with community, we also need a representative of the community to be communities, any association or a body to be part of it.
Okay, okay.
If you have a registered association which fits into our requirement, there should not be any issue. But let us discuss and we'll come back to you. I think we will think about it and come back to you on that.
Okay, okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Mr. Shashidhara, and then Ms. Shalini.
Good morning, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, Mr. Shashidhara. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. It's a great pleasure to be here. I represent HSR Cyclist Group. We have done the longest running cycle days, 55 events, and plus 20 plus cycle stands in HSR layout as part of partnership in Neighborhood Improvement Pro Challenge. So I have few questions. First one is that HSR has 7 sectors and a federation. So each sector has their own RWAs. Can one RWA or few of them apply in collaboration or independently, and then apply these for other sectors also?
RWS can apply together also. I mean, we are only looking for an RWA which has to be registered and which should be in working for at least minimum 3 years, because we don't want somebody to register right now for to participate here. So as long as they can come together and they work in, let's say ABC areas are together, they are contiguous, and ABC RWS want to come together and give a joint application, we have no issue with that. Absolutely.
Okay, great. Because we also have something called Federation in HSR, which is a body that sits, this is also a registered body for last 7 years. So they may also apply across for all 7. So
they may also apply. See, only condition we have put is, we said it should be at least minimum 1,000 households to, be able to have an impact. Because if it is just 100 households, there won't be any impact. So beyond that, it depends on your bandwidth. You can take a bigger area if you are able to manage that, or you may take a, only area confined to 1,000 households if you don't have so much of bandwidth. So it depends on. Right. Thank you.
Great. Second, one more small question I had. So with respect to implementation, does the RWA or NGOs have the liberty of all the contract selection and everything, and the permissions from all the departments? Because in the past we noticed that road, street, when we want to get any permissions, it would go to traffic police, then the electricity department because they have cabling, then sewage lines. Many of these departments come together. So BBMP, inspector would inspect initially, but then they would also recommend changes to the overall plan. They would say, we cannot approve this if it is like this. Cycle stands cannot be installed here. We will not approve. So all the study that we did would have to be changed again, or the proposal would have to be changed again. So how can the INSUMA, can help in getting everybody together when the execution happens?
So as I mentioned, so once an organization is shortlisted, we work with them to fine tune their plans. So at that point of time, as a part of the task force, we will bring in all the stakeholders and we will get their buy-in, because we also understand road doesn't belong to the upkeep of road, maintenance of road, vests with the BBMP. So we have to take the BBMP into confidence. So that would be done. They will be part of the SUMA task force. At the same time, we also expect the applicant organizations to engage with their, right now you don't have any corporators, but as and when they get elected and come, to engage with the political leaders, corporators, everybody in their area also. So we will facilitate interactions with all the government bodies.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Ms. Shalini and then Nisha.
Yeah, hi. I had exactly the same question Mr. Shashidhar asked, because during cycle day, what we experienced is that, we didn't get the cooperation of the traffic police for what was happening. And as per their rules, we are not supposed to block the road. And that is, as legally also, that is not acceptable. And we were harassed like crazy. And DALT was nowhere there when we were getting harassed. So I just want to know how well prepared DALT is, when taking up this project. Already have you started communications with other departments? Have you got the buy-in to at least some extent?
So, Mrs. Shalini, when we started Cycle Day, we had, officials of DALT, because at that time I was there when we started. In between, I was not there. So we had, officials of DALT waiting in the police station till 9 o'clock to get permissions. Subsequently, things started getting event. Initially, DALT was the one which was organizing everything till the community came in and started taking ownership. It would be too much if I have to say that, all problems are resolved, everything is fine. It won't be. But as we implement, there may be issues. There are issues even in government programs. When we implement government projects also, we will have a problem, we will have an issue. But we work it out. We work together with those agencies and we will try and resolve them. So there's no point in thinking that there may be a problem. There could be a problem. There will be problems. So those would be resolved as we move ahead. But
no, there will be problems. There will be problems. I know that. But what I want to know is how well prepared is DALT, because later after the projects have started, the money has come in. It shouldn't be that we as community partners, we are stuck with it. So I just want to ensure that DALT is has preparations for it.
We also have as much stake or more stake in the project. We are answerable. After all, I mean, we can't have the money being wasted. So we, would, as I mentioned earlier, in our task force, etc., all local bodies will be represented. And they will also go through your plans, and this vetting of your plan and approval. At that stage itself, all stakeholders will be involved. So still while you're implementing, there could be an issue and there may be some kind of course corrections required or done, but we will be working with the community to make it happen. As we have been working all along with BBMP and other agencies, we don't see any major problem in doing that.
Okay.
Still, as I said, there could be some issues, but we'll have to face them. That's the thing.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
Nisha? Nisha, you're there?
Yeah.
You're muted.
Hi, sorry.
If you
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, Mrs. Nisha.
Yes.
Good morning, Miss Manjula. Good morning, Manjula ma'am. Good morning, Sonal. I'm speaking on behalf of Decora in Indiranagar. Actually, our president, Mr. Ashok, and the leader of our traffic and mobility task force, Mr. Ranganathan, are also in this meeting. So we've just, I think you know about Decora, and because we've been working quite a few years actively engaging with the community, and we have quite a strong community that engages with multiple government departments, and we've been working with government to get things done. However, we've not had a cycle day in this RWA. So my question is on how stringent are these rules that for the application to for one, like we've not had a cycle day. The other thing is we have 750 households in the neighborhood, not 1,000. So I'm just wondering, is it still possible to apply as just RRWA Yeah, or even if so, you've already answered the question whether we can collaborate with other name RWAs and apply together. But I'm just want to clarify whether it's still possible to apply as just us.
Yeah, see, depends on the neighborhood days. Hello. Yeah. So, Mrs. Nisha, we have said 1,000 because we thought at least 1,000 divided by 5 members in a family, like no, sorry, it would be 1,000 multiplied by 5, around 5,000 people we are talking about, right? The minimum. So I will just have to examine that 750. Today you may be 750, somebody may want 600, somebody 500. I would say you take a chance. I mean, depends on whether 750 households together form a compact neighborhood or not is a question. But anyway, we will just look at it. I'm right now not able to kind of, clarify that point. We will just, along with some other points, which I said I will come back to you, we will come back to you on that. But the second point on the cycle day, let me mention to you, we are not disqualifying anybody for not having done a cycle day, but we are giving extra points to somebody who has done a cycle day. Because we feel that communities which have continuously engaged with urban mobility issues for a very long time deserve to be the ones that get some extra brownie points. So if you have not done a cycle day also, you can participate. Maybe you will not get those green shoots for having conducted the cycle day. So you will be at a slightly disadvantage compared to those probably equally placed applicants who might have done a cycle day. So that's it.
Just one more clarification. While we have not engaged with Dalton Cycle Day, over the last few years, we've engaged a lot with the traffic police and other government agencies. So can we do this as a write-up and submit as an email as part of the application with the other government bodies which we've actively engaged with? Will that be possible?
If you have gone through the application, one is cycle day. So we have actually two sections there. One, we are asking you about your engagement in urban mobility issues. One is, first one is whether you have conducted cycle day, etc. Second one is on other urban mobility issues. It could be participating in some campaign or something like that. So obviously your work with traffic police, etc., will fill into that. So you can still, as a part of the application itself, you can submit that. Maybe you have not conducted the cycle day, but you have engaged with traffic police for doing some road safety campaigns or something like that, or you've engaged on any issue which has impact on mobility. Maybe you've done a campaign for more walkable streets. All that can also come in as a part of the application.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
you. If no one else has any questions, then should we close the session? Okay. Yeah, Nihar.
Yeah. Hi, ma'am. So I'm a resident of a gated community in Doddanekundi, and I'm planning to partner with the local association for this challenge or initiative, and I think, as you mentioned, that should be all right. So my main question was, how stringent are the requirements that our area that we're planning to implement any of these initiatives in includes, let's say, a school or a lake or a park? So some of those requirements, how stringent are they? Because I think the nearest school is at least over a kilometer away. And that was my question.
Why that has been suggested that it should have a school, etc., is that first thing we are focusing on neighborhood trips, right? So if it's only purely residential area, and then you are not really So you should have some shopping, commercial area, something like that. It need not be a school per se. We are not really saying there has to be a school, because some communities or some neighborhoods may not have one. But definitely we should have what do you call that, places of destination in that area. So school is not something which we will insist upon, but you need to have some places, need to have some commercial street or something else, or a park. It should not, it is again not necessary there has to be a lake everywhere. Unfortunately, we don't have so many lakes, but there could be a park, or there could be some place where people go to, and we would want them to go on, try walking or cycling there. So basically one aspect of all this is looking at neighborhood commute, and to discourage people from using their two-wheelers to cars, etc. So at least in your neighborhood, when you're moving around, you should be using more of cycling and walking and things like that. So it's not very, very stringent that way.
All right, thank you, ma'am. And just one more question. I just wanted to clarify that DOLT does not really limit or have constraints on what sort of initiatives you would like to see implemented. It could be cycle lanes, it could be open streets, it could be initiatives to have bicycle repair centers, or any such initiative. So that's very open-ended and based on what the community feels. Is that right?
Yes, exactly. So it depends on what the community thinks is worthwhile doing in their area. So we don't want to say, oh, you have to do only this, because that makes it very prescriptive kind of a thing. We don't want that. When we are talking about community engagement, we presume that when we think and we believe that community knows what is good for their own neighborhood. So let the ideas come from the community.
All right, thank you.
Hello, ma'am. Just one question I have.
Yes, ma'am. Please continue.
See, have you done any survey on the areas of the neighborhood which requires this particular thing and also easily implementable, like developed areas, underdeveloped areas, developing areas, something like that? So that maybe in suburb areas, neighborhoods which are within the BBMP limits may require less investment if we have to do the cycle lanes and things like that. So did you do any work on that front?
See, we are working on along with BBMP in planning cycle lanes in various parts of the city. But let me tell you that we are not going to classify, or we have no intention of classifying communities as doable, not doable, this and that. We are only looking at what is the, there should be interest, enthusiasm, a willingness to do things, a willingness to engage from the community also. So we also want to know how enthusiastic a community is and how willing they are to engage with government for the improvement of their own neighborhoods. So we have not done any survey, or we are not going to do any survey. Though we have data from various, we know generally which are the areas where developed, etc. We are only looking to engage with, interested communities and neighborhoods.
Right. Thank you.
Sorry, and just one more question. Is this initiative strictly about mobility, or does it also include, let's say, open spaces? It could be a square, or like a place where a Sunday grocery or a market, farmers market is held. So does it include open spaces like that as well, or is it just mobility?
It has something to do. See, it includes all this public place making also, because we are looking at walking, cycling. So when you talk about mobility, we're looking at public spaces also. So you have a public space which you want it to be spruced up in some manner where people can interact and engage. It does fit into this.
All right, great. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll conclude this session now. And if anyone has any questions that they were not able to ask or couldn't think of at this point, you're always welcome to send us your questions, and we'll keep that in mind, and we'll put out an FAQ with all the questions that were asked, so that for the benefit of the people who couldn't attend this. And we've recorded this session, so this session will also go in our YouTube channel, and we'll share the same with all of you. So thank you all for being here and attending the session, and we look forward to your applications. Thank you, ma'am, for answering all the questions. And yeah, you want to make any concluding remarks, ma'am?
No, but I just want to thank you all for participating and for being very inquisitive about the process. See, this is our as I mentioned here, it is an experiment in community engagement. We are taking this experiment beyond what we did in Cycle Day 1.0, and we are very enthusiastic about it and eager to also roll it out, roll it in the city. So I also look forward to many applications, and we look forward to working with the communities. And rest assured that it will be DULT's job or a DULT's mandate to bring in other partners, other stakeholders from government to engage with you all. So you should not have any apprehensions on that. And as Sonal mentioned, we will also release a FAQ with all the questions that you might have, clarifying it. Certain questions I could not answer today because we need time to discuss with our members of other members. So we will do so and probably answer everything in the FAQ in a couple of days. Thank you so much. Namaskara. Thank you.
Thank you. Nice session. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.